well. Sorry, I lied. I lied. I'm done. I lied.
Jemma Bayley reviews everything ever.
So, hello and welcome to Jemma Bayley Reviews Everything Ever. It's me, Jemma Bayley. I'm here reviewing everything ever. Wow. So, we're doing it again. We've chucked the alphabet out because clearly that didn't work. I got a bunch of you to write in some stuff to review, so I'm going to be reviewing those things instead. But first, what did I do? Where have I been? What have I done? Well, thank you for asking. That's very sweet. All that time off, and you know what I did? I ended up sewing. And now I know, I made myself a skirt. It's weird that you can make it. You know, like how, I don't want to say there's like a mysticism around people who create or anything like that. But there is. And as it turns out, not only can I sew, but also I think I'm good at it. Can you be a child prodigy at 30? That's what I want to know, actually. Can I, if I'm so good now, for the age demographic of sewing, I might be called a child prodigy. I might be, actually. To walk into like those sewing shops and they're 60 and like, wow, she's so young starting sewing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a genius. Also the ukulele. Which, to look at me, you'd think, surely this white quirky girl already has a ukulele and plays it. Oh my god, I might as well be Jess from New Girl at this point. I might as well just, like, lean into it hard. I'm just so sick of being exactly what I am. Anyway, so, anyone else discover they are who they are, which was the villain all along? I did. I'm the annoying white girl I always knew I was gonna be. Oh, I forgot. I'm going to try to stop swearing. We'll give it a shot. We'll see how we go. I was gonna just then. Didn't. I want brownie points for not doing it. That much like a white man, I would like some brownie points for not doing something as bad as I could have. I wanted to review phrases because they have origins and there's reasonings behind them. It's like, I want to review the phrase easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now, but I know that other people say other things like easy peasy, keeping it breezy. Like there's other ones of that, but I think that easy peasy lemon squeezy is probably the best one I've heard. So I'm just going to quickly dive into that for a second. You stay there. You wait there, sweet cheeks. Lemon squeezy comes up first. Easy peasy is an informal, playful phrase meaning something is very easy, simple, or straightforward. It's because it's not as fun. It's funner to say easy peasy, lemon squeezy than to be like, easy, that's easy because it's straightforward. Or just saying something like, not a problem, that is straightforward, I'll get that done for you ASAP. It hasn't got the same ring to it. It's linked to the 1950s or 60s British dish soap commercial. It's a slogan. Easy peasy Japanesey is a variation around the same time as lemon squeezy version in the 1980s with Australian children claiming its addition. Right, so Australian kids made it Japanesey. Well, because they're fucking racist? I thought it was just like a weird racist thing. I mean, it might be a racist thing. It did turn up in the 1980s in Australia, so... Holy shit, I would have thought that Japanesey was the origin and then lemon squeezy was the cover-up. But it always has, and always will be lemon squeezy. There you go. This is one of the few times a phrase has been a thing and then has been turned a little bit racist. Do you know what I mean? It's a few times that something's been something. That never happened. This is actually a really interesting fact. I wonder if anyone else knows. Like, you know what's really annoying? I'll probably go to say this to someone and they'll be like, yeah, everyone knows that. And I'll be like, well, in my head, because the assumption is, like, the nursery rhymes that all get changed, like the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because you changed it to tiger. I thought that was what was happening with lemon squeezy. As it turns out, we just decided to add slurs. That doesn't make any sense. Is Japanesey a slur? I don't know if it's a slur, but it doesn't sound right. As always, we have learnt things together here today, and you're welcome and interesting. Well, it's 5 stars, isn't it? Because it's just good. In fact, I want to argue that, ironically, easy peasy lemon squeezy is such an easy phrase to remember, because it's just rhyming slang. It's a British rhyming slang. It's so simple, and the origin of it is straightforward too, as it turns out. So, like, ironically, easy peasy lemon squeezy is easy peasy lemon squeezy. There's something beautiful about that. I love it. 5 stars. I don't know who this is. I'm just going to read me game Matt. Whoever that is wants me to review ice trays. They want me to review ice trays. I'm actually glad, because I was gonna. This is a big one for me. Because back in the day, ice wasn't even a thing. Not ice was. Everything was water. You know what? Am I wrong? I don't know. Back in the day, it depends on how far back in the day is. What I was trying to say was back in the day when ice wasn't a thing, when you had to get big pieces of ice, like shipped places, because we could not freeze them because there were no freezers around freezing things. Ice trays, revolutionary. To me, ice trays are kind of like hot water in a house. Like, I think we don't really, because it's so commonplace in ice tray, right? That back in the day, that was a rich person delicacy thing, and we're just like, someone didn't fill up the ice tray, we don't have any ice today, that's so annoying. I guess we'll fill it up now, and we'll have to wait. Now I have to wait. Now we're so privileged in that sense. That's why it's like hot water to me. Like, back in the day, people weren't having hot showers. There's no such thing as a hot shower. It's a weird practice I've gotten into, but whenever I'm handed a drink with ice, whenever I'm like I see that, because I have ice trays and they're in the shapes of little hearts. That's how far we've come with ice trays. The decadence of that. I have ice trays and they're hearts, and they're made of pink. They're pink. Yeah, no, and I see ice and I go, wow, what a world. Ice trays. Beautiful. Majestic things in our own homes have become so mundane, but symbolize something so crazy. This concept that we are living like lords and ladies, in our own homes. Hot water, cold ice. What is this? You try and tell that to someone back in the day, they'd be like, oh, are you an empress? Are you like a god? And you just say, no, I'm a graphic designer. They would still be like, whoa, what is that? It must be some sort of deity of graphic and design. I'm like, yeah, I guess you can call me the deity of graphic and design. Jemma Bayley, goddess of graphic and design. Oh, is that taken yet? I want to be that as me. So, ice trays, they get 5 stars. Yeah, bet you weren't expecting that. Taylor would like me to review tampons, so I will be doing that. I use them. I know a lot of people who don't use them, actually, because they're very invasive. For those of you who don't know what tampon is, it's a thing. Welcome to Sex Ed class with Jemma. Tampons are like these little, I think they're cotton, right? They're meant to suck up your period when you're having it. Which is like, it's not a plug per se, it's more kind of like gauze. Like, if you think of gauze, it's not as rough as gauze because it's going somewhere very sensitive. It's a soft, like, gauze sort of situation. So like how the Diva cups you like in far out, dude. I don't like the Diva cups, they freak me out because I spill regular cups. Although maybe because my vagina is holding the cup, maybe it wouldn't spill. It's a suction thing, I think. You know what? I'll give it a shot next time. I'll go get one and see how I go with it. We're reviewing tampons right now. You don't want to be keeping them in there for a long time. You can get toxic shock syndrome from it, which is a terrifying concept. Is you leave it in long enough, your body's like, because it's a foreign entity in there, and your body's like, don't with that. And then it gets sick. You get sick. So, remember it's there. I didn't know this, but you can get them with applicators, which is actually very common in America, not so common in Australia. Usually you can just you just wash your hand, you stick it up there, and then you wash your hand when you're done. Like, it doesn't seem that weird to me. Like, this is my applicator. Like, that's about as far as you need to put it in. You can get the full ones, which have it at the top and then a little cardboard piece or like plastic piece, stick it up in and it will place it, and then you pull the applicator out. Yeah, it's a bunch of, I agree, it's a bit much. It's a fancy doodad for something that a finger can do, Like the redneck, like bogan part of me is like, that's a fancy person thing. That's for the private schoolgirls, Us public schoolgirls, we're using our fingers. Or we're not using tampons at all. We're using pads. They're the best of a bad situation. Do what you can with what you got and use what is comfortable to you. All right? I think that's pretty good. Anyway, I use them a lot, so 4 stars. We are also reviewing Dylan Moran's special Monster. In season 2 of Jemma Bayley Reviews Everything Ever, I do want to take some time to do a serious review on something. I know. I wonder how that's gonna go. I love Dylan Moran. I love Black Book. Loosely, Dylan Moran, for those of you who don't know, he's a Irish comedian. He kind of dabbles in, he's like whimsical and dark, but his comedy is still somehow like relatable. For instance, like he has a bit about, he says children are just like, they're just drunks. They talk like drunks. They want drunk food. And then he does these act outs that are just like, come be in the bath. No. You know, like come over here. No. Can you not be mindlessly violent for 2 minutes? No. You know, like he's pointing out something that's so obvious, which I really love. Because he comes from a poetry background, a lot of his wording is just like, it's like gorgeous, the way he says things. And it's pretty to listen to. And his descriptions are crazy. He's got this one where he's talking about potential. He's going, people always lie to you. They say, trying to live up to your potential, and he's like, don't go anywhere near your potential. It's potential. Leave it. It's like your bank account. You'll look in it, you know, like, and there's less there than what you thought there was. You're going to find out that your potential is just like a startled little cat shitting itself on like a wire sprung mattress. It's just like he paints. I can't even go into it because he like says so much. Go watch it. It's free on YouTube. Type in Dylan Moran Monster. He describes your potential, you know, in this kind of like long form. Because before that, he describes what you think your potential is. He describes this elaborate room with mullions, whatever mullions are, and rich people all talking eloquently to each other while a piano spits canapes into their mouths. It's all marble floors. Like he paints these pictures, and he does it so much better than me. All he's doing is he's describing that we all like think that we could do stuff. Like we really think we could do stuff, but when you gets down to it, it's actually quite hard, and you probably won't be able to do what you think you can imagine. He's talking about how the nature of potential is that it's potential, which seems obvious, but when he's describing it, you're like, yeah, it's potential. He has, and I will say he does very well, the style of comedy that is men are like this and women are like this. Even though we listen to stuff like that now and it kind of feels like it's beating a dead horse, his versions of it are very thoughtful and very particular. So it's almost like they get a pass. The perspective he leads you in with is so original that it's almost like watching a play on gender roles. More than it is like him telling you how the world should be. He's just going, look at it this way. And you're going, whoa, that is actually quite ridiculous and funny. Like if you're watching it and you are left leaning and you're kind of a little bit like, I don't know if I want to listen to a white man talk about women and men, I'm just saying, watch it first, because it's deeper than the subject matter, if that makes any sense. And it holds up. When was it recorded? 2004. 2004. He has a bit in it where he's talking about technologies and phones. I don't know if it's because I'm a millennial that I find it really funny, because he's talking about how everyone has a phone now. Everyone has a mobile phone, and how sad it is that like we've lost kind of the occasion that comes with having a home phone. And he has this bit where he's like, oh god, this whole thing's just gonna be me talking about his bits. A bit where he's like, gone are the days when you could pick up the phone and be like, Miriam's dead, and hang up. Now you're there when Miriam's dying. Like, you're filming it, you know. It's so clever. God, I just sound like I'm just rambling about how much I love Dylan Moran. Honestly, this is where we're at with the podcast anyway. When you hear about comedians doing bits about men and women, he's like just one of the first dudes who like did it right. Like he did it and everyone was like, yes, that's all of us, you know. And this might be hard in the current climate, but I would love to see him do bits on non-binary or trans people, because I think his outlook on it would be quite interesting and thoughtful. I think if anyone could do it and do it right, I think it would be Dylan Moran, because it would come off endearing, sincere, and real. Like, oh man, an LGBT, like, or someone in that perspective of a group doing bits on that group would be so funny. It'd be so funny because it would be that relatable men and women sort of like vibe, but it would be with communities that are a little bit more like out than they were. Yeah, anyway, a girl can dream. Oh, what is my favorite bit of his? He's talking about new age music. He was listening to a song and it was played so loud that the chair next to him bled. And that, for some reason, the way that's described, that it was played at a volume that the chair next to me bled, is like such a funny way to illustrate how incredibly loud it was. It was like ridiculous, you know. He's getting the mundane and he's shedding a light on it in a way that makes you realize just how ridiculous we all are, you know. You know what it is? He's covered perfectly this part of adult life where you're all kind of pretending around each other to know what you're doing, and he's kind of pointing out that we're all still like not serious. We're all stupid. We're all kind of like, we think we know, we're all playing this game of like we're all adults and we know what we're doing, but we don't. And he has this great like set where how when he was young he could drink and he'd be fine. He could drink battery acid and wake up the next morning and have a fight, you know. I just think that he's done a really good job of illustrating what it's like to pretend to be human with each other. And I think because I've spent a lot of my life not really fitting into social, like, I'm nerdy in school, and I was like a muckabout kid in school, and then I've grown up and I've never understood what's cool, and that's fine because the cool kids would leave me alone. I was talking with a young person, and they were like, they did say that's no longer cool. They said like that was maybe cool when you were a kid, but it's not really cool now. And I kind of went, I was never doing anything cool as a kid. So what do I give Dylan Moran's Monster as a special? 5 stars. I give it 5 stars. Absolutely 5 stars, without a doubt 5 stars. You can argue with me, but I don't care. It's 5 stars and you're wrong. You're wrong. I would like to review laws. Laws as in the things that you follow in society. So so what are laws? Laws are a set of rules that we've put in place by your government entity to make sure that things are fair or seemingly fair. And they can change. I find that bizarre. I find that's probably the weirdest thing about laws, is that we'd be changing them. I mean, we need to be changing them because a lot of them were sexist and racist and various other things. But I find it weird that we can just go, well, you know, we don't like that anymore. We don't like that can't happen, and we don't like that this can happen. And you can make them up as well. There's a law in hospitals called Ryan's Law, and I think it means that is a vital 3-step escalation process in Queensland, Australia, allowing patients, families and carers to raise concerns if a hospital patient's health worsens or isn't improving as expected, ensuring a senior reviews the situation. It was developed after Ryan Saunders' preventable death, and it's for the people, which I love. I love a law for the people. Wow, it's one of my favorite types of laws, are the laws for the people. But then you have weird laws that allow people to get away with like tax fraud and shit. I actually don't know. I don't know that much about laws. I don't actually know, so just ignore what I just said. You know, I don't know enough about it. I'm not going to talk about it actually, because I don't know. I don't know, and that's an okay thing to say. I think they're usually good, and they're usually made to be good because as a society, I think it's fair that a bunch of us get together and go, hey, let's not, like, first of all, not murdering's a good one. I think we can all agree with that. We have speed laws. So, like, you'll get fined up the arse. You lose your demerit points. We get demerit points. I've lost all my demerit points once. I'm talking about how, like, laws, I constantly break the laws. Like, depending on the law, it's kind of more like a guideline. This is what I've learned from losing all my demerit points. They are laws and they should be taken seriously. I had to go on good behavior driving. So, like, that's when you lose all your you get 12 points, by the way. That's a lot of points to lose. What was I doing? I'm glad you asked. I got 6 demerit points in one go because I was speeding into a tunnel. I was on my way to Lennox Head, which is like a good 4 hours. Also, it's late at night and it got away from me. Why am I making up excuses to you? You're not my parole officer. Nah, I had to get my dying mum to the hospital. Like all the things that you think you can get away from laws. Like you think that if someone stops you or you can contest a thing by saying a thing, but you actually can't usually most of the time. You have to prove a lot of shit. Anyway, not that I would know. Not that I tried. Anyway, so you can do one of 2 things when you lose all your demerit points. You can stop driving for 6 months, or you can go on good behavior for a year, which means you get 2 demerit points back, and you can't lose those demerit points, or you lose your license. Like you properly lose it. Like, and I think you lose it for like a years. Like you don't want to do that. So I learned to drive normally. I think I don't know what it was before that. It's like you have all these demerit points, and you're like, I have heaps, la la la, and then they're gone, and you're like, I should have taken that more seriously. You gotta drive safely. The laws are the law. They're the laws of the land. And you gotta abide by the laws of the land. Not because you want to, but because you can get fined terribly. Law, there is room for improvement everywhere. So we can't give it 5 stars. We'll give them 4 stars. We'll give laws 4 stars. Because you gotta have them. Otherwise, it's complete chaos. There is a little country that has no laws. There's a country, where is that? I was talking to someone and they were like, there's a country in which there are no actual laws. There's a town that governs itself and there's no laws, but everyone in the town is kind of accountable to each other. What is that place? The city without laws in Denmark refers to Freetown, Christiania, self-governing community. It started with a squatting military base and operates with its own rules, often challenging Danish law, particularly regarding cannabis. There we go. Like it's under Danish law, so like they still need to abide by those laws. So what they do is apparently they like when the police will come through and do like a sweep of the town, but they will tell the people of Freetown it's going to happen so that they can hide all their outlaw stuff, like all their drugs and like cannabis. Like they can hide it all the stuff that's like illegal, just so they can do a sweep for like I think more serious crime. Like if there was a homicide that happened in the town, like this, they're not like outside of the law of that sort of stuff. Freetown is a little bit, it's governed by the people. So in a weird way, there are laws to Freetown, but it's their own laws. Fascinating, because in a weird way, that's kind of what a lot of places are like. Like laws are laws, but then there's also like your own laws within your own communities that you abide by. And there's also things that people get away with constantly inside smaller communities, like fucking the church. Sorry, so pedophiles. Anyway, classic Catholic Church behavior. But curious, mystic review cheeseburgers. I will review cheeseburgers. Hey, it depends on the cheeseburger from the place. That being said, if we're going with general cheeseburgers, the concept that oh wait, hold on. Yeah. Oh, hey, here's a gripe. Cheeseburgers aren't cheeseburgers. They are like beef and cheeseburgers. That's a nothing gripe. But I know that a cheeseburger means a burger with cheese, but like it's not a cheeseburger. It's a beef and cheeseburger. But like whatever, no, because we have ham and cheese toasties. So why wouldn't you just call it a cheese toasty? Oh, because cheese toasties exist. Because you aren't just simply having a burger with cheese on it. That's why, Jemma. Anyway, here on the podcast, I'm not afraid to be wrong. I am wrong consistently, but I'm also right consistently. So think about that. Look, if I'm going to a new place and you want to know if the burgers are good, you do go for the cheeseburger because that's a good 0-0 of every burger place. Like if you go to a place and their cheeseburgers are shit, that's not a good burger place. right? Like, you fuck up a cheeseburger. I'm salivating right now. Fuck, so hungry. Yeah, cheeseburgers have that ketchup on it, and I'm not like a big ketchup person. They get a middle of the road. They are good. So I'm going 3.5 stars for cheeseburgers. 3.5 stars. That was deep. All right, we're getting through it. Alice England wants me to review Your Mum. She's great, actually. Yeah, and she's the best. And whatever. Oh yeah, 5 stars. Yeah, my mom. She's the best. What do you want? What are you trying to do? Were you trying to be funny? Were you trying to be funny when I was like, hey, earnestly, like, hey, everyone out there, I'm doing my podcast that I'm passionate about and I care about, and I want some reviews, and you say your mum? Was that meant to be funny? Were you coming in here being all like, oh, this is like a ha 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 on Jemma, Bayley, of Jemma Bayley Reviews Everything Ever, your mum, ha ha ha, she gets 5 stars. Bullying. It's bullying you're doing there. You know what? I could read this as your mum. Your mum, 1 star. Birthed you, 1 star. There you go. Reviewed your mum. That was way too aggressive. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Your mum is probably a really nice lady that brought up Demon Spawn. You're the demon spawn. She's a nice lady, and she had you, and whatever she did in the past life, I don't know what she did, but it must have been terrible. 5 stars to your mum for having to deal with you. There you go. That'll teach you to make fun of me on my own podcast. Yeah, damn right, Jemma, you won that one. Oh my god. Brett wants me to review Plasterboard. Now, you stay there while I have an idea of what plasterboard is, but I just want to double check it's right. Oh, it is drywall. Okay, alright. First of all, better than asbestos. Let's get that out there. Obviously, it's not carcinogenic in any way. It might be. I actually don't know. It could be tiny bit carcinogenic. If you ground it into a powder and snorted it, it's not going to be good for you. Not as good as concrete. Controversial opinion. I like myself concrete walls and exposed brick and all that sort of stuff. Just the board on the outside, like on the wall. It's just the walls, isn't it? Is that what plaster? That's what. It's just that, right? I like that it makes things look clean. Also, you can just paint over it. That's the thing about like plasterboard. You just keep painting over it, can't you? It makes me wonder if rental properties, like most like walls, are just like gobstopper like layers. You know, like you peel it off and then it's like, or you cut into it and it would be like rings on a tree, but it's all the different colors of the tenants that live there. I don't know if it's because like all the newer buildings, like it reminds me of hospitals. It reminds me of offices. But the more I talk about it, the more I'm starting to realize I really don't like plasterboard. I just like that it doesn't cause cancer in your lungs. So that's pretty low now that I think about it. It's fine. It's just fine. Just fine. 2 stars. You know what? 2 stars. And that's all we have time for today on Jemma Bayley Reviews Everything Ever. As always, if you have something to review, send me an email at gemmabaileycomedy@gmail.com. If you don't have something for me to review, don't email me. I'm not just like talking to people on there. I want reviews. That's what I'm on there for. I want reviews. So send a review. And if you don't have a review, then wait for more content and like everything. Just be nice and rate my channel. Just do nice things, please. Will you? Good. Anyway, have a good day. Yeah.